Hello everyone, it is me again, Arctic Bite, and I'm back again with another video. In today's video, to celebrate 64 subscribers as of recording this video, um, I figured we do another reaction video. It's been a while since I've done these, and considering that a lot of people really liked my Jacksepticeye chase reaction that I did a while back, I figured I'd do another one, and since this is a really good occasion, so here we are. As you guys can see from the title right here, we're reacting to Angry Video Game Nerd. I think this is episode 93. Yeah, down here. I don't know why I have this like that, but so yeah, I don't think I've seen this episode to be honest. Um, I'm gonna be honest though for a second here. I have played the original Zelda. I don't know. I don't think I've played. Well, I have played Zelda 2, but I didn't play much of it. At least not much to get very far. All that I know is that I think that one is a 2D side scroller, which, because at that time, I think the nerd actually he may explain this, but I think at the time there was no standard like how most of the Zelda games nowadays are 3D. So back then there really was no standard, and I think he may actually point out in this video. I don't know yet, but if he does, then well, there you go. So yeah, uh, I think that's gonna go ahead and do it for this intro. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is a celebration for 64 subscribers. Fart noises. Come on. The intro never gets old though.
He's gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear.
Ah yes, the CDI Zelda games.
The rotten asshole of a rope.
I'm sorry y'all can hear that. That's my seat. It's an old chair though. It used to have a back piece, but it actually broke. So it's down here actually. I've been meaning to fix it.
Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
Again, the intro never gets old.
So many bad games to talk shit about.
That is a lot of
One
NES
of them I get a
games.
lot of requests for is Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Really? That's a bad game? I thought it was pretty good. I mean, look at it. It's gold. But it's a mixed opinion kind of thing. Some people love it, some people hate it.
Right. And that actually makes sense. But here's the thing. This is a little off topic, but and it's very minor to talk about, but you guys ever noticed that the original game was called The Legend of Zelda, but then when the second game came out, they just called it Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. They didn't call it The Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. That's just minor, but it's just something I always noticed, and I've always questioned too.
With the first Zelda, I think everyone agrees it's a masterpiece. Sure,
It is a masterpiece, but I think the obviously the newer games will always be better. But yeah, I don't know, like because I didn't find Zelda 1 as fun as the newer games. Obviously, since this was made during the time where the NES, obviously it was 8-bit, so they had to make the most of what they had. I'll admit, if I were to have played this back then yeah, it probably would have been the best fucking thing ever. All right. But like nowadays with the new games, with Breath of the Wild, and that's another thing. Actually, let me actually talk about that. Like, I cannot express how hyped I am for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Like that, as most of my friends know, as well as Fawful 305. Like, I've told them many times that how like it is actually one of my most anticipated Switch games so far, as well as Splatoon 3. Which, by the way, I did pre-order Splatoon 3, so expect videos for when that finally comes out. Cannot wait. But yeah, I cannot express like how hyped I am for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. So I'm gonna get me something to drink, guys, but I'll be right back. We're back again, guys. Sorry about that. I had to get something to drink. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying how hyped I was on Breath of the Wild 2. Like for real, it is my most anticipated game so far. Cannot wait.
Or maybe there's
Let's
some
continue.
weird stuff in it. I don't know why one of the labyrinths is shaped like a swastika,
Oh
or
God,
why the enemy
I actually
names
didn't
are
know
so
that.
random. What do you call that? A rabbit?
And that's actually one of the things I always found kind of funny was the enemy names in the original Zelda, and I think some of them are actually in the new games too. Um, but yeah, like there are just a lot of funny enemy names. Like I think the snakes are called rope. I think he might actually point that out in this video. To be
Head?
fair,
Wrong. A Pole's voice. What's that? A mummy? Gibdo. What's that? A ghost? Guinea. What's that?
I'll give him credit where credit is due and the benefit of a doubt because you couldn't really call them generic things, even though that's you would call that a ghost. But they had to be innovative in the names, so like they had to change the names up. So they had to give them like weird fantasy type names because obviously Zelda, you can't really do this in real life. So I'll give them that.
Well, it's kind of like
Just-
what?
Yeah,
It's
I know
called
that.
a like? Yeah, I'm not making this up. This is all coming straight from the manual. What do you call that? A snake? Wrong. It's called rope.
I told you. Yeah, so he did point it out. That's funny. A snake is rope. So what do you call rope? A snake?
Yeah, really. If you can't tell the difference between a snake and a rope, you're in trouble. What's that? A bat? No, it's keys. What do
Yeah, I know keys because they are in Breath of the Wild. Although I think they're actually, I think the spelling is different though.
you call the keys then? Bats? What's that? A knight? A dark nut. Well, then what's that? A Geiger councilman?
It's just a rock.
Oh, a rock.
Yeah.
What's that? A spider? A tektite. Now, what the fuck is a tektite? Is that even a real word? Let me look it up. Yeah, it is. Tektite. Any of several kinds of small
It's just a
glassy
spider.
bodies in various forms occurring in Australia and elsewhere, now believed to have been produced by the impact of meteorites on the Earth's surface. Yeah. Or a spider.
Exactly.
Well, fuck. Let's move on to Zelda 2. It's been a while since I played this. Is it good? Is it bad? Let's get to the bottom of it and see how well it holds up today.
Well, they gave it the gold treatment.
Well, the overhead
What I mean by the gold treatment is the cartridge. They gave it the gold cartridge treatment, so it's obviously got to be good.
world does kind of suck. Everything looks like a block, Link is so minuscule and looks like a little gnarled green turd. But also, he manages to be larger than the houses. How does that explain when he walks into the town? Does he shrink in size? Well, then again, how did Link always carry so many items with him? It's not important. It's a fantasy world where nothing
Exactly.
makes sense.
Enough
The
said.
most common generic criticism I've heard is that the game is a side-scroller, for the
Yeah.
most part, and none of the other Zelda games were like that. Well, think back to when it first came out. There were only two Zelda games. One was an overhead view, and the other was a side-scroller, mostly. So there is no real standard yet. The annoying part is that you can't fight anything on the overhead.
And going back to the 2D thing, yeah, so he did actually say that in the video. That kind of makes it unique, though. Because, like, most of them are overhead view, or, nowadays all of them are 3D. So that makes it unique amongst the
These
series.
generic cookie-cutter enemies pop out of
Cookie cutter.
nowhere, and if they touch you, it brings you to a short battle screen. This is a good chance to rack up on experience points. But most of the time, you're just trying to get from one place to the next, and you have to keep stopping to fight these bastards. The enemies you fight and layout
See, that's the thing. Right here is a risk-reward system, sort of. Basically, you fight these guys, but then you get XP, or you get experience. But, again, like you said, more often than not, you're just trying to get to your destination. But like that again creates a risk reward system. Do you fight these guys and get them more XP, or do you go on and just get to your next objective or your next destination? So
depend
I
on
like
where
that.
you got caught. If you got caught on a grassy field or in the middle of the woods,
That's a cool
it's
detail,
always
by the way, what he's
different.
talking about.
You might get swarmed with enemies, or you might have it so easy there's no point at all. Like here, all I gotta do is dodge these fuzzy fuckbutts and leave. It gets old quick, but if you think about it, it's not as bad as Final Fantasy VI, that is 3 on Super Nintendo. Here, you can't even see what hits you. That's as random as you can get, but hey, that was a great game.
Wait, hold on. I read.
See
Hold
what
on.
hits you. That's as random as you can get, but
Look, he edited. I think he edited to. He might have actually called him that in the actual game. That's funny. I'm sorry, but that's funny. Shit's an ass bag.
hey, that was a great game. I know a lot of RPGs like that, but I guess that's not what most gamers expected from a Zelda game. There's no Ganon either,
You
or
knew
at
something,
least
right?
not until you die. Well, this is the only direct sequel to the original game. Zelda's in a sleeping spell, and Ganon's been killed, turned into red ash. Now, supposedly the other villains are trying to resurrect him by using the blood of Link, similar to the Hammer Dracula films where they always mix somebody's blood into Dracula's ashes. So it's kind of disappointing that the only time you see Ganon is when the game's over. Not to mention, what's that look like? Could he possibly be holding his sword in a more suggestive position? The object
Doesn't
of
look
the
like
game
that
is
to
to go
me.
into towns, learn magic spells, and go to palaces. In each palace, you find a new item
Sorry,
and
guys.
defeat a boss. I've heard some rumor that if you defeat the boss before getting the item, the palace will turn to rock and you won't be able to get the item. But as far as I'm concerned, that's not true at all. The palace only turns to rock after you've completed everything. One thing I can say is that this game is hard as shit.
I actually have heard people say that. That the game does get really challenging, especially this area. I think it's Death Mountain.
I think we can all agree with that. That doesn't mean the game's bad, challenge is a good thing, but challenge should be given to the player in increments, meaning a game should gradually get harder as it
Preach.
progresses.
Exactly. See, because if a game, I'll give Cuphead here, you know, a pass because the developers were trying to do that. They were trying to make the game hard. But if the game is hard, just straight out like at the beginning, then there's no progression there. Sure, like there's progression. Like obviously you'll get better at it, but like the game needs to gradually get harder. You know what I mean? Like the nerd will explain it here.
Player in increments, meaning a game should gradually get harder as it progresses, and that's where Zelda 2 dropped the ball. The first two levels are pretty easy, but then it hits you with Death Mountain.
Yep.
Holy fuck. It's the most difficult part of the game, and there's no fucking around. You gotta go right.
I think Death Mountain in most of the Zelda games that the level has been in, I think that was always usually the most difficult, but I might be wrong.
Right through it early on. These red lizard dudes are on super steroids. Even if you manage to jump over them, they throw their axe. Ah, shit. Where the hell am I going?
Oh, that would get on my
God
nerves.
damn. Shouldn't they have put this part at the end of the game? I mean, what could be more dangerous than Death Mountain? They got it all mixed up. That's not to say the later stages aren't hard, but by then you've gained more health, your sword's stronger, and you have all kinds of helpful magic spells to get you through. But here, you're like a 4-year-old trying to fight Hulk Hogan. So before you can even try to face Death Mountain, you have to go mess about, fight random enemies, get
And again, that's where I talked about the risk reward thing. Like obviously you want to level up before you face any more more difficult challenges.
experience points and power up all your shit.
That's the beauty of
You gotta get the
RPGs.
pee bags. What are pee bags anyway? Piss bags? That's right, Link collects bags of piss. And even when you're all
We'll go with
powered
that.
up, you're lucky if you make it through Death Mountain. And the fun doesn't stop there. You get the hammer, break the block, and look for the secret grave that leads to level 3. Just to get punished some more. Ah, you piece of dog shit.
Fuck you.
Back at the beginning. Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
Now
ew.
I gotta walk all the way back to the palace. In every other Zelda game, if you die
With the Switch NES thing that they have, yeah, you could just create a save point. But that's cheap, though. To be fair, the nerd here is going all out. Like he's playing the original game. I gotta give him that.
find one of the palaces or
Major
labyrinths or
respects there.
dungeons or whatever, it will start you at the entrance. But here, they decided, fuck you. You die, you go all the way back to square one. Assholes. Of course, I have to mention the towns. It's so peaceful. Yeah, you need a break from all that madness. But the townspeople aren't really that helpful. Hello? Why even include a character in the game
I'm gonna be fairly honest here. Is it just me? Or do these they don't look like they don't belong in the game? You know, that's just me though.
that has nothing to say? Most famous is this guy, I Am Error. Well, maybe that's just his name, that's all. Maybe it's pronounced Error.
Yeah,
In each
never
town,
actually
there's
thought
a
of
woman
that.
that restores your health. She invites Link inside, and you never see what's happening in there. Is she giving him a potion? Is she performing a magic spell? No, we all know what's really happening. Link is getting a little of the old in out, in out. I mean,
What?
this isn't little boy Link anymore. He's grown up now. He learns
I
all these special moves like the down thrust, the up thrust. In there, he learns the cunt thrust. Yeah, that should be the name of a band. But really, Link deserves to get some because of all this hell he goes through. He's not gonna get any from Zelda. Well, then again, she's in a sleeping spell. What was Link doing there in the first place? Oh, no.
Oh.
Link's a poonhound. Another thing that's
Sorry about that, guys. What the?
fun about the towns is that you can jump on the roof. Yeah, that's fun. Watch this, I'm gonna turn into a fairy. Wait, that's not supposed to happen. Maybe
The
I
glitches.
shouldn't have done that. What the hell?
Villagers! You like them?
No.
Let's see what happens if I go up here and turn into a fairy. I fell through the floor?
I am through the floor, through the floor, through the floor, floor.
I don't want to go through the floor. But then again, what do you expect if you turn to a fairy when you're high? High up or high on drugs, either way, you'll see glitches.
Do these skulls ever die?
Oh my god.
You'll
There's no
kill
way the
your
enemy can
thumbs
take.
faster than you'll kill this thing.
True that. But here's the thing, like, it can't take that many hits just to kill it.
Oh, thank God.
The way he was
Tell
hitting
me
the
this.
controller.
Why does Link get hurt by bubbles? What kind of
Okay.
pussy is he? You gotta fight some wizard, but he's impossible unless you get a magic reflect spell from some guy in a town. But before he'll give you the spell, you have to rescue some little kid. Look at that. I don't know why, but I find that very funny. I mean, that's great. Somebody
The-
should make a
The fact that he holds everything above his head.
t-shirt of that. It's like every time Link finds something, he has to hold it up. Imagine having him as a friend.
Hey, Link, have you seen the remote control for the TV? Oh, cool. You found it. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, you could put that down.
Some of the items are disappointing. The candle, for instance, it automatically lights up the dark areas in the caves. But wasn't it more fun when the candle used to shoot fire right in the old man's face? The flute doesn't do the same thing either.
Excuse me.
Here,
Oh
you
god,
use
I
it to
didn't know you
get
could do
past
that.
This huge spider in open level 6. But how are you supposed to guess that? In the first game, it was for transportation. Oh, and I hate these horse heads.
That
The
was
way they
funny,
move up
not
and
gonna
down,
lie.
it reminds me of the Medusas in the Castlevania games.
Oh god.
Yeah, anything with a pattern
I
like
heard
that.
about
These
those.
games gave me so much stress as a kid, I developed a psychological complex. Whenever I see wavy lines, I get fucking pissed. Sometimes I try to cheat. I turn into a fairy and fly around. I know it's really stupid, but if
Hey,
you're
it
gonna
works.
cheat,
It
you
may
might
be
as well be a
stupid, but if
fairy
it
while you're
works,
at
it works.
It doesn't work that great anyway. You never have enough magic to do it, and there's a wall. Damn! You fight the dragon, go through a cave, and knock down some trees with a hammer to find a hidden town. In this town, you get a spell, try using the spell, and the only thing you'll find is that it changes some of the enemies. But unlike the rest of the spells in the game, this one has a secondary function. There's a certain spot that seems like a dead end. You use the spell here, and it makes a temple come out of the ground. How are you supposed to know all that unless you read Nintendo Power? The townspeople
Power.
don't help that much. They might as well just say, get the power, Nintendo Power. Yeah, it's classic hidden cryptic Nintendo horse shit. I always hated this part too. These guys peek their heads out over the fence like Tim the Toolman's neighbor and throw rocks. That's child stuff. I mean, come on, throwing rocks? Once you make it to the last level, you can actually restart there if you die. So finally the game gives us a little mercy. But if you don't have any extra lives, it doesn't matter. You gotta save up all your free guys. Yeah, all those little mini links you find throughout the game, save those fuckers up. You'll need every one of them. Then you fight the Thunderbird and finally Dark Link, sometimes referred to as Shadow Link. This is the final boss in the game, and hard as fuck. He mimics your
The most infamous Shadow Link boss fight that I could, well, boss fight is kind of a loose term here, but like the most infamous one I've heard so far was the Ocarina of Time Shadow Link's fight. So I'm sorry if I'm not in you guys. So.
every move and will kick your ass. Come on, come on, come on! Come on! Ooh, fuck!
Well, it's impossible. I have better luck trying to fight my own shadow.
Oh my god. You actually.
You motherfuckers, come on! God damn! You
Really?
can't beat your own shadow, and that's what this game is. It's your dark alter ego that knows more about you than you know yourself. I don't know how you could win unless you're really hardcore. Some gamers are so hardcore with the first game, they've actually made it to Ganon
Well, I mean, to be fair, you've made it that far.
without the sword. That's insane. But people like a good challenge. You want a good challenge? Try beating Zelda 2 with the Power Glove. Yeah, that's a laugh. In conclusion, it's still a great game, but many consider it the black sheep of the Zelda franchise. And understandably, it's very different
You just
from the
camp
first
at the
game,
corner.
but obviously Nintendo didn't want to just rehash the same game over again, so they tried something new. Some people were confused, and admittedly, it had some mixed results. But it had a legacy of its own. It was the first Zelda game to have towns to visit and to have a magic meter, and many games copied its style, such as Battle the Olympus and even Rambo. Bottom line, it's a good game, but a very frustrating one. I'll never beat it as long as I live.
My guy, look at the
Nope.
TV. Music is so iconic. I'll even admit this, that Zelda music is a masterpiece in terms of music. But that's gonna... There you go, guys. That was AVGN. That was AVGN. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Sorry that this video wasn't really anything that special. I just figured I'd do something for celebrating 64 subscribers, and I really like watching AVGN, so I figured this would probably be a good choice. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, you guys. Go sub to Cinemassacre. I'll have a link down to their down to the channel in the description. Be sure to show them lots of love and appreciation. And yeah, I guess that's gonna go ahead and do this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.